Today's video is dedicated to the HR professionals who are really dedicated to learning what it takes to build a successful HR career. You're not an aspiring HR professional, you're in your role already. And you're wondering what can you do to really build that credibility, to really be taken seriously in your role. In this video, I'm going to talk about the fastest ways to be taken more seriously in your role as an HR leader, as an HR manager, or ultimately as an HR professional. So, you know the drill. If you're not new here, I've got my notes here to keep me on track. Grab your notebook, grab your thing to write with, whether it's a pen, whether it's a pencil, whatever you have, your tablet, whatever it is. Get your notes ready. I want to make sure you don't miss anything that we're going to cover today. So, when it comes to building your credibility, I talk to a lot of HR professionals in my day job where I work full time, but then also in this business that I'm running here on this channel and in just what I do, in my downtime, whatever that is. And as I talk to these HR professionals, I hear a lot of times there's a lot of confusion or some self doubt around whether you're doing what it takes to be successful in HR. So whether you are trying to move into another industry or move into another company, or you might not even have the title of HR right now, but you're doing the HR responsibilities and you wonder, are you on the right path? Use this video as a guide to help you to understand, are you doing the things that I'm telling you that you must do in this video to build your credibility, to be taken more seriously? If you are doing these things, then you are on the right path. But if you're not doing these things, use this video kind of as a guide, like check the boxes to see if you're really hitting these points. And if you're not hitting these points, then this video will help you to identify where you need to focus next in your career. Again, if the goal that you have is to be taken more seriously, you wouldn't have clicked on a video like this if you do not have a desire to be taken more seriously in HR. I understand the desire to be taken more seriously in HR because when I started in my HR career, I was an intern. And so that was, 2008. So 16 years ago, I was an intern in HR. Today, I work in executive leadership, leading 3 departments, including HR, and I run this HR coaching and consulting business. That does not happen overnight. So the things that I've done, there's no easy way in terms of overnight success. Everything that's worth having is worth working for. But I'm telling you the blueprint, so to speak, the fastest way to make sure that you have the tools and the methodologies to make sure you're getting to where you want to go, and that you have a gauge of understanding how successful you'll be when you get there. So the very first thing you want to have is a successful and a solid knowledge, foundational knowledge of HR. So even if you don't have HR in your title, but you're responsible for your HR responsibilities in your company, so you're the primary HR person in your company, you have to understand that while you might be the HR expert for your team, for your company, even for your CEO, you must be more than an HR expert for your company. You must have a solid understanding of what it takes to be successful in HR, what it takes to keep the company in compliance with employment laws and things of that nature. And it's great to learn it on your own. I've talked in several videos already about how, as an HR leader, especially in an HR department of one role, we often have to crowdsource our work. So we're gathering information from a lot of different places to piece it all together, but we must have a clear foundational knowledge of what it takes. Again, we can't just do what we think we should do, because those are really dangerous places to be in. For example, if you are in front of the EEOC, or if you're in front of the Department of Labor, they don't care that you might be relatively new to HR. They don't care that you never were trained. They don't care about any of that. You will be the person who's named in any type of employment law issue or any type of hearing or things like that. So if for no other reason than to make sure you are covering yourself, you need a foundational knowledge of what it takes to be successful. Not just what you think is the right thing to do morally, but what is required. What must you do? It goes beyond just what you think people deserve and what people should have, and taking care of the feelings of people. HR goes well beyond that. There are many things that you could be held personally liable for as an HR leader if you do not do the right things. So again, you must find ways to build that foundational knowledge. There are many ways you can go about doing that. Some of the ways you can go about doing it, you can do different HR certifications and different programs. Like this video I can show you here. To If you finish this video, you can watch that one to learn more about the other certification you want to go into, or even gauging if a certification is the right time for that right now. But aligning with your local SHRM chapter, or joining programs like mine where I have a small group of employees, small group of HR leaders, and where we meet regularly to just talk about things that we're facing, our successes, our challenges, and there's value in that. And I'm kind of skipping ahead to another point, but the goal here is to not work in isolation. Another thing you want to make sure that you do is continuously invest, or get your company to continuously invest in your growth and in your development. So in HR of 3 years ago is not HR of today, let alone HR of 5 and 10 and 15 years ago. So if you're not continuously learning and seeking out new knowledge, you're going to get left behind. So it's important to make sure that you have a set pattern, so to speak, or a cadence of learning. It should feel uncomfortable to you if you've not learned anything in a while. So whether that means signing up for different events or conferences or networking events or meetings, find different ways to pour into yourself from a foundational knowledge aspect is very, very important. You don't want to get stuck relying on what you think is the best thing, or relying just even on your own personal experiences, because again, every company is different, every industry is different, and so just what worked in one place that you've worked might not be the only thing that can work in the next place. So again, having consistent information coming at you that you're going to do something with, because information overload is not ideal either, but understanding that you want to continuously build yourself, build your educational knowledge, build your muscles, so to speak, to make sure you can be as effective as you can be. That's a fantastic way to be taken more seriously, because if you're only going off of your opinion, even for me. So in my day job, when we're making decisions, I have members of my team and even members outside of my team. We're talking about things. Every idea sounds like it's a great idea, and I'm not against great ideas. But when I'm deciding what I want to spend my time on, what I want my team to spend their time on, it must go back to the data. It must go back to what information do we have that's going to support us moving in this direction. So I might think it's a good idea, but it might not be a right now idea. It might not be an idea that's going to over prioritize whatever else is what the data is supporting. So again, the same thing applies here. For you to build your credibility, to be taken more seriously as an HR leader, you cannot only go off of what you think is correct. There must be something backing what you provide, what you suggest, what you offer to your team. So again, there must be some things that kind of support you as you support those around you. The next thing you want to do is build solid relationships within your workplace. That is the one of the top ways, and all these are great ways to begin be taken more seriously as an HR manager. But I think it sometimes goes overlooked. It's so important to build those relationships within your workplace, and I think of them in levels. So first, if you're an HR leader, if you're the senior most HR leader as an HR department of one, you likely report to the CEO or the CFO or the COO, whoever you report to. You need a solid relationship with that person above you. You need a solid relationship with your peers. So other managers, other department leads, solid relationships with them. And you need solid relationships with the people that they serve as well. It might be difficult, or it might feel overwhelming to have solid relationships with each of these hierarchies, so to speak, because it might feel like it's difficult to do. And it takes different strategies to build those relationships at each level, but it's necessary. So if you think back over where you're working right now, and just ask yourself candidly, with your supervisor, is there a clear and solid relationship? Do you know how to make your supervisor successful? Do you understand how your supervisor defines success for you? All those things are important. For your peers, for your other managers, are you a resource to them? Do you know how to talk to them? Do you know how to relate to them? Do they trust advice that you give them? Do they come to you from a consultative standpoint to ask you for advice, to ask you for feedback, to help you to get your help when they're working with their teams? For the employees that they serve, do they know that they can come to you to ask you questions when they're facing a health challenge, when they're facing an issue with their team member, when they're facing an employee issue with the manager, or when they want to just know what are the other opportunities in the company? Do they know that you're a resource for them? These are great ways to understand, are you building these solid relationships in the workplace? It's so critical. If you want to be taken more seriously, they need to know that not only do you have the knowledge, we can't stop there though. You have to have more than the knowledge. You've got to be able to connect with people as well. And if you can't connect with people, they're not going to trust you. How does the quote go? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It applies here as an HR leader so heavily, because you must be able to show your value. You must be able to show how you relate to other people as well. You must also build a robust support system. So when it comes to, or build or maintain, so your support system could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be a group of HR leaders that you work with, it could be work with, meaning like in my HR leadership library or any other groups that you're part of, like your SHRM chapter and things like that. But you want to have a robust support system in various lanes of your life. So again, personally and professionally, because there will be times where you are running on fumes. Ask me how I know. There will be many times where you're running on fumes and you don't have the the drive to move forward. So as an HR leader, you are so passionate about helping people. You're so passionate about helping other people and helping them to reach their goals. But who comes back and helps you? So you've got to find different ways to pour into yourself. So you have to pour into yourself by doing things that make sense to you, things that you enjoy. But you need to have people around you that support you, that they might not understand what you do day to day. They might even understand the weight of the role that you carry, but they need to understand that, they're your safe space. They can come to you, you can come to them, and relate to each other in that way. One of the great things about the HR leadership library, one of the pieces that I add on to that program right now, it includes 3 monthly after hours calls. We typically meet on a Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's scheduled for an hour, but it often runs over, because I like to give people space to be able to talk. And I like to open up my Zoom room, because this goes beyond what I provide in the program, where I offer, the audits and the toolkits and the checklists and my resource to help you to run your HR department effectively. But opening up my Zoom room this way allows this small group of HR leaders, HR Department One professionals from around the nation, to get together. We talk about our successes, we talk about their struggles, what they're facing, projects that they're working on, and I give my opinion. So it's so good, because not only are they being vulnerable to be able to share what they're working on, and being open to be able to accept advice and accept feedback from other people, but it's so fulfilling to be able to know that even if you're the HR department of one, you're not in this by yourself. There are people around you. They might not be down the street. They might not even be, a few cities away. They're probably a few states away. But you have a time where you're going to get a chance to connect with these people 3 times a month. And where do you have that? I don't know of any other HR department of one community where you can get together in this way. And I love to support this group of employees. Sorry, I keep calling employees. Keep going back to my 9 to 5 mode. This group of HR leaders is so impactful, because I know that's what I wish that I had when I was starting out in my HR career. I remember feverishly Googling everything I could find, um going to different meetings and finding, getting advice, but it not quite matching what I needed, because they don't really know me, so they're just giving me what they think that I should have, but it doesn't quite fit, because they don't really know anything about my company and my business. The benefit of the after hours calls is that we get a chance to learn each other, and over the course of the 12 months of the program, you get a chance to decide, well, how much do I want to share? How much do I want to give? But like with anything, you get what you give. So that's why I feel so blessed. And with this channel, it's so fulfilling to me. I've had this channel for going on 2 years, and I've given a lot. I've done a lot of videos on this channel, long form videos, short form videos, edited videos, no edit videos like this one. And it's so fulfilling to me, because I wonder sometimes, well, does it matter? Is anybody watching? Is this really resonating? Are the people who I believe are out there, HR Department of One professionals who are seeking ways to grow their career, seeking support in growing their career, wanting guidance and assistance, are those people really out there? But it's so fulfilling to me, because when I get you schedule your meetings with me, and you tell me like, Brittany, I've been watching you for months, or I've been waiting to join, and things this like that. So it's fulfilling to me, and I say all that to say, you get what you give. I feel that I'm poured into, believe it or not, just as much as I pour out to you. And it fills my cup to hear how these videos help, to hear how the community helps. And I know everyone can't afford to do private one-on-one coaching and things of that nature. For those who can, I offer that. But I want to make sure that I'm not just picking you up and dropping you off If all you can do is these free YouTube videos, and that's all you can do, and that's completely fine. But I want you to understand that I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you to grow and thrive in your career and get out of survival mode. You got to decide what you want to do and just put some intention behind it. The fourth thing that you want to do, and this, I keep saying everything is probably the biggest thing, but these are 5 excellent things to do to make sure you are being taken seriously as an HR manager. The fourth thing you want to do is demonstrate your value through action. So you can know all the great things. Um you can have a heart of gold. People can know that you care about them. You have a people around you, a group of people in your SHRM chapter, in your HR leadership library. You have all those things. But if you're taking all those things that you have access to and you're not doing anything with it in the company, if your HR department is the same today as it was 7 months ago, a year ago, what are you doing? You've got to find ways to improve and optimize and show your value. In business, nothing is personal. So if you're not being promoted, it's not personal. There's not that they don't like you. Sometimes it's not even that there's not a budget for it. Oftentimes it's that they don't see the value in what you do. And they don't see the value in what you do, maybe because your value is not being visible. So the things that I provide for you in the HR Leadership Library, in the SHRM HR Department One program, the things that I help you with is helping you to build your impact. So help you to make sure your department is running effectively, your department is running successfully, run like a well-oiled machine. Build your influence. I want you to not only do well individually and be an individual contributor, but influence others around you. Build those solid relationships. Help them to know that you're a valued resource and someone who's knowledgeable and credible to help them to be successful. But ultimately, build your income. If you do these 2 things well, you're building your impact, you're building your influence, you will build your income. And so those are the things that I help you with as your HR leadership coach to help you to take your career to the very next level. So growing my career from intern to executive leadership and beyond has been fulfilling for me, but it benefits me nothing to just keep all the things that I know to myself. And so that's why I have this channel to help you to have your own career, your own journey, your own heights that you reach. I mean, my limits are not your limits. My caps are not your caps. So I'm excited to see what you do with all this information. And then the last thing on this list, you want to make sure you are cultivating a professional and approachable persona. So one of the best compliments that I ever get is I talked to someone the other day, maybe a few weeks ago, one of the newer members of the HR Leadership Library, and she was talking about, this channel, and she was saying how, I know you don't get a lot of views and you don't get a lot of this and a lot of that. So I know I'm talking to a very specific person. I'm pouring my heart out to this specific person. I want to make sure they know that I'm here for them. And the biggest compliment that she gave me, she's like, I know, she's like, you're giving valuable information, but you're not flashy. She's like, you're very down to earth. You're very approachable. She's like, I was surprised to even get a phone call with you. That's another big compliment that I typically get when you book those calls. You're booking with me. You're not booking it with an appointment setter or with a person, miles and miles away from me. You're booking your calls with me. I feel that it's important to be approachable, to be personable, because I know that when I was in your shoes, I wanted someone doing the things that I'm doing. I wanted to be someone who was not so far away, and not so unapproachable, if that makes sense. I wanted someone who could be who could be who I could reach out to if I had to send an email, if I need to make a phone call, if I need to send a text message. I wanted to be that person for this community of HR professionals. So if you are looking for an HR leadership coach, I would love to be your HR leadership coach officially. I'm probably from a distance. I talk to a lot of people and they say we're friends in your head. Let's get out of your head. Let me meet you. I'm really excited to get a chance to learn more about you, learn more about the struggles that you face, the successes that you've had, your goals and your desires, and things that you want to do in your future, whether you stay in your current position or you decide to go other places. But if there's anything that I can do to help you, to support you as you're growing your HR career, again, on purpose, to build your impact, build your influence, and ultimately build your income, please never hesitate to reach out to me. Drop your comments down below. Let me know in on a scale of 1 to 5 on this list. So are you doing one of these things really well, 2 of these things really well, 5 of these things really well? Let me know. Drop them down in the comments and tell me more. I'm really curious to know how these videos are helping you and what I can do to help support you further. I'll see you on the very next video. Bye.